all the rookies that you're looking at in the class, obviously you're very high on Trey Lance yourself. Is there one rookie who you think will contribute the most to this team?
Yeah, I mean, I think the obvious answer, especially now, has got to be Sermon, right?
It has to be.
It's got to be Sermon. I mean, at the very least, he may not be the starter, but he's definitely going to be the finisher. He's going to be the closer, right? Bring in the righty. It's Trey Sermon. So if you need to win a game at the end and you need some hard-fought yards, Sermon's going to be your guy. So, yeah, I think Sermon, even above Lance, has the biggest chance to be a huge impact this year because I just said it. If Lance plays, it's going to be a lot of dink and dunk, and sure, he's going to be able to run the ball and do some of those things, but he's not going to be much more of a contributor than what Jimmy was in 2019. Okay. So with that being said, yeah, I think if we run the ball 55% of the time and Sermon is getting half those carries, he's going to be the biggest impact as a rookie.
I totally agree with that. I think the other obvious candidate for this is Aaron Banks. I mean, those are the two guys we're really looking at.
Hey, you know what? That's a very good call. Very good call. Yes.
Because with Aaron Banks, he could just I think what people don't value enough with the offensive line is understanding that they need reps together. They need a solid group. And with a guy like Aaron Banks, inserting him in at right guard with an offensive line that I think is already pretty good when you add Alex Mack to it, he's going to solidify that right side of the line and help out a guy like McGlinchey, who's struggling so much last season. And with Aaron Banks, I mean, he's known for his pass protection. That is what coming out of college, that's what everyone is saying about this guy. So I think, listen, I hear you with Sermon. I would probably lean that way too, but just to be a contrarian, Aaron Banks he's going to contribute a ton to this team, and he's going to make a huge difference, especially if this team has a lot of success.
Well, he's pretty much guaranteed to be a starter, really, and play every snap. So, I mean, you're right. He might be the biggest contributor, but there's nothing that's going to show up in a stat line, right? Like, it's not going to be anything that most people notice. So, but yeah, you might be spot on with that. Banks could definitely be the guy for sure.
Yeah, and you know, I will say with Trey Sermon, I certainly see a world where I think it's becoming even more likely by the day that he's going to lead this team in rushing yards this season. I'm really starting to believe that. So, I mean, you're absolutely right, Jesse. He could be the most important non-Trey Lance contributor for any rookie this year. He really could be.
Yeah, I said it earlier that I thought it would be Wilson that would lead the team in rushing. And now that he's not there, well, who goes into that next spot? Most likely it's Sermon. So if I said Wilson, why not Sermon, you know?
Yeah, and also, I just want to mention this. The guy ahead of him isn't exactly 100% healthy all the time either. So he could absolutely be running back one by week 6. I mean, he really could be. So, I mean, I'd be really excited for that. But it's something where I had a little bit more hesitancy just because the room is so crowded, like we talked about earlier.
Right.